I was just part of a leadership development workshop a couple of days ago where we were talking about vulnerability, authenticity, and most importantly, speaking up. And while we were talking about that, it reminded me of an incident in my 10-year-old daughter's life. And the story goes like this. When this was a couple of weeks ago, I usually pick her up from school. And when I pick her up from school, I usually ask, how was your day? And she's super excited. She's talking about the friends she's made and all the fun that she's had in her lunch breaks. But this afternoon, she said, Mama, I cried a lot in my lunch break. I was sitting all alone and I cried. And I was really concerned for her. And I said, what happened? Why were you crying? And she said, there's this new girl who's joined her class and she's part of her friends group. And she said something about her, about Kyra, which she felt really bad and she felt excluded, which ended up where her friends went together in one group and left Kyra all alone. And so Kyra spent the rest of the lunch just eating her lunch all alone and crying. So I tell her, don't worry, sweetie, we'll talk to that girl tomorrow. We'll explain it to her. Why don't you have a conversation with the girl? And she says, no, it's not the problem with the new girl. She doesn't know me, so it's okay for her to feel the way she did or said about me the way she did. My problem is my friend, my best friend was there and she didn't stand up for me. She just stood there quiet. She should have stood up and said, no, Kyra is not like this. This is who Kyra is. And I felt really bad, mostly because she was quiet. And that broke my heart. And then I said, what do you want to do about it, sweetie? And she said, tomorrow I'm going to have a conversation with her. And the next day she meets her friend and she says, hey, Alice, I felt really bad yesterday that you didn't stand up for me. And it really hurt me because if you were in my place, I would have definitely stood up for you and spoke for you. And then Alice apologized to her and they got together. And when I heard this story from Kyra, I was just so amazed that a 10-year-old figured out what was the root cause of her hurt. And she had the courage and the awareness to do something about it. And I use that as a constant reminder to myself, also to be aware of what's actually causing me hurt and am I doing something about it. And I use that as a story also to anchor conversations around courage, around awareness, and about speaking up, because sometimes silence can be hurtful.